Okay, hey girls, welcome. This is week 3, I believe, of our, or maybe I think it's week 3 because we have 4 weeks till convention, right? So this week and then 3 more weeks. So I feel like it's go time for making some things happen and really tapping in. Mm, so we're gonna go back to, okay, today is the 20th. Yeah, it's the 20th. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the 13th and we're gonna do a quick audit. So while we're waiting on everyone else to hop on, let's do our quick audit. And if you have a sheet of paper up front, and if you haven't like written down a win or a learn from this past week that you want to share, as well as like tracked your combos, you can like quick add those up real quick. All right, so we're looking at posts. That weed eater loud on your end? Ben's weed eating in my garden. You know it's bad when you gotta get the weed eater out and it's not even June yet. The paths though are crazy. Okay, so we're going back to May 13th. You guys done yet? Or anyone want to chime in? Feel free if you want to. All right, and last week we were going to try to work on 2 posts a day, right? Which I totally didn't do that. I was traveling all weekend, and so a lot of times when I'm not home, and it's like a family type trip versus I don't know, depending on the trip. And also I did a lot of the driving, so it's just different than if I'm mostly the passenger the whole time and I can do a social media thing. Okay, so do you guys want to share? Oh, hey Angie, we're doing an audit. So going back to May 13th of our post, so business, personal, product, and then in total. So does anyone want to chime in? Oh, Brandy didn't. Oh, Lisa did 6 product 6 product, 4 personal, 1 business, 3 engaging, 14 total. Daily in your stories, fantastic. Brandy did most in a long time, so yay. 8 posts, 3 business, 1 product, 5 personal.
Going back to what day? I'm sorry, the 13th?
Yeah, just we're kind of chunking it down through like week by week. Actually, it's been really good exercise for us. So last week our goal, which I don't know if any of us hit our goal. Laura, you'll have to chime in too because maybe you hit it. But our goal was to do 2 posts a day, 1 personal, 1 Plexus, but making sure that like half of them are business posts. So Lisa, you won for getting 14 in. I got 11 total. I did 8 personal, 1 product, and 2 business. I just have not been overly intentional with it, but I definitely think that the more intentional we are with our social media posting, the more that's going to feed into our business stuff too. So if you can increase the amount of what you're posting about, like without detracting from, you don't want it to take away, like, because sometimes I file in these ditches of like, I'll do really, hyper focus on social media content, and then I'm like not in as many conversations. So it's definitely a balance. But I do feel like anytime my output is more and I'm more intentional with it, that and coupled with the conversations behind the scenes, it's like the winning recipe. So let's make it our goal again to do 14 posts total minimum. 14 minimum posts. That's 2 a day. And half of those Plexus. And we need to have, what do we need to have? So let's say 4 are Plexus. Business ones are easy. I mean, product or personal ones are easy. So let's say 4 business posts. We need to post 4 times about the business. Did any of us do 4 times? Let me look. Okay, I think we can all increase that. And I gave the little tip too, for those of us who have posted for 1 year or more, go back in your memories every day. That's an easy post. You don't have to think about whether it's already pre-written personal one or a pre-written business or product one. It makes it really easy, especially on busy days. So keep that in mind too, because you can keep looking at your memories and just save them, text them to yourself or whatever to use for other days when you know you're going to have a really busy day and you don't really have time to write content. The other idea I was going to put out there, do you guys ever do like a call to comment personal post, but it's also health related, but it's not Plexus? So one example would be like the post I made about the book I'm reading, the Eat Right for Your Blood Type. I had a lot of comments on that. So I feel like anytime we can create content that is engaging and it's also along the health vein, to where we can talk about health things that are, where it doesn't always have to be Plexus, Okay, who wants to kick us off? Oh, hey, April. Hello. So Laura and April, if you guys want to do a quick audit through your posts from last Tuesday, which was the 13th. So you can scroll back in your posts and check and see. I feel like it is a good little check mark and hold the mirror moment for all of us personally, just to know like where we need to focus. So our goal is minimum 14 posts total, half of them Plexus, and specifically 4 about the business in the next week. Bonus if you go live. If you guys have goals, you need to go live this week about the business, okay? I've had those pop up in my feed, in my memory feed, and sometimes you can just go back and comment and I'll bump those back into circulation. And anytime that we have gone live, it always brings new people. Sometimes people that have been looking or watching, kind of behind the scenes watching what you're doing, but haven't actually said anything. It brings people out of the woodwork for sure.
So, okay, I got mine.
Okay.
So between Facebook and Instagram, so for Facebook, I did 9 total, 2 product, 1 business, the rest other things.
Okay.
My Instagram, I did 3 product, 1 business, a total of 10. And my stories, pretty much every day, I have my pink drink in my stories every day. But also wanted to tell you guys, I have a friend that I actually hired as a social media guru, and she has a free group on Facebook where she just started it. I think this is day 2 or day 3. I'm not sure, but she actually gives you information that you can, like, she doesn't tell you what to post, but she gives you like B-roll ideas or hook ideas. And then she gives you the trending audios. So, I'll pop that group in this chat thread. If you guys, doesn't matter to me if you join it or not, but you might be interested, and it's free. So I'm all about getting the free things when you can.
Yeah, Angie and I grew up in Plexus with tons of free training. And we were just like simple enough to go listen to the free training and then we go implement. And I think that's the listen and then go implement, listen, then go implement. And I think that this will be Okay, I don't want her on the boat. Are you gonna be on the boat? Are you gonna be in the boat? No, I don't want her on a boat. Just fish from the shore, please. Sorry. Okay, anyways. Uh, well, I feel like that Lori Harrison social media stuff caused a lot more confusion for people, or for people that weren't really ready for that. They weren't really in a stuck place social media wise, and so then it caused them to just overthink every single thing. I'll be right back. You guys can chat.
Okay, I'm grabbing that chat, that Facebook group. I'm going to pop it in the Ruby chat, but I wanted to say that because she's only posting like one trending reel or one trending audio, what you guys might consider is like, I don't know, it doesn't matter, but if everyone's posting the same, it might help the algorithm or not. That I don't really know about. But anyways, it's a great tip. And I've had a couple people from my team just recently join it. And we both, like I used my own B-roll, my own video, obviously. I found my own hook, but we use the same audio, but it doesn't even matter because the pictures, like my video's different, my words are different, the hook, everything is different. So anyways, I'm going to grab that right now. Okay, it should be there. It's called the Social Powerhouse Community. I heard this quote on a call that I was on today. Do you guys know who Amy Porterfield is? She's a big social media guru and she's very popular, but this is the quote, and I was going to post it, but someone did. And it says, learn to fall in love with the things that give you the life that you love. Learn to fall in love with the things that give you the life that you love. And so when I heard that, I was thinking about um just the rat race sometimes that we get in, and we can all kind of be like, no one's responding. I'm tired of messaging people, blah, blah. We've all been there, right? And so if we learn to love the things that we're doing that give us the life that we love, that put it into a new perspective for me. And I was like, I absolutely love that.
Can you repeat that?
Mm-hmm. Learn to fall in love with the things that give you the life you love. It's a quote from Amy Porterfield.
That's good. Well, and I think that that carries through too, like the energy of what we're doing, that we love what we're doing, that carries through in our posts, in our messages, versus when and sometimes there's seasons where we operate from maybe not the healthiest place, and it can work. We can make it work, right? But I do think there is something to not approaching our business with just always the, feeling, and I know life is busy. There's lots of things going on. We have lots of irons in the fire. All of us do. But I think that the love part, that's what I was thinking about the other day. I was like, how much love has gone into building the Plexus team. Like over the last 10 years, I was thinking about this. Justin and I were on our way home and from something last week, and I was thinking, I had not really thought about that, but it was love that compelled us. Love for other people, seeing them find healing and seeing them have health wins. Love for like creating a legacy for our kids. And Justin was reminding me yesterday because I was on another call with Eric Worre and some advisory board peeps And I'm really excited about him coming to convention, by the way. I am really, because he's kind of like the liaison between corporate and the field. And so he's like trying to like help us marry all of the ideas and like actually implement stuff. And so he's like listening to us, hearing what we're saying, and then, just really trying to work towards, we all row together on things. But where was I going with this story? Where was I going with that? I think, well, who knows? I don't know. I totally lost my train of thought. But I think that the point is, over the last decade, love is what. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Justin was listening to the call because he was in the truck with me. Eric is like this. He'll text the thread and be like, "Hey, can you guys like pop on a call in like 20 minutes?" And so I didn't see it until we were like checking out at Aldi. I was like, "Okay." So Justin was like listening to, and he reminded like after the call, he's like, "Tarl and Alec." He's like Plexus grew because of Tarl and Alec's vision for creating a legacy for families. He's like, that built Plexus. He was like it or not, like it or not, believers built this business primarily because we're like the multi-generational, we see a vision for, creating freedom for our families. And so, anyways, I'm resharing that because I thought it was so profound and a great, great reminder of like what the original vision was that Tarl and Alec put out there to everybody. And then we were all like, yeah, that makes so much sense. So, okay. Speaking of,
Real quick, I was kind of thinking, so that quote is basically like Galatians 6:9. And I say this to my girls a lot. Do not grow weary in well doing. Because even as busy moms or whatever, it can get tiresome.
100%.
So she basically just reworded God's word, but still.
Yeah. When I always think about Gretchen's favorite verse, like her life verse is, I don't even remember what the reference is. It's Proverbs 20 something, where it talks about a righteous man falls 7 times, yet rises again. She's like, that is my life verse. And I would think of that, but the same idea, like that it's easy to grow weary in well doing. And also, I mean, life is a battle. Life is a battle, right? Nothing is working towards us to go grow this thing. Everything is against us. That's what something else Justin and I were talking about is like literally the world is not for you doing anything of value, training your kids, eating healthy, building a business, being an entrepreneur. Pretty much every single person in your life is going to probably not be for you doing that. But that's the thing. That's why, we were talking about why convention is so important, because most of the people in people's circles are not for them succeeding. It's like, unfortunately, usually it's the opposite. And so that's why it's so important for people to show up to the calls and to show up at events. And like our biggest event of the year is convention. It's going to be really good. I'm actually very excited about Ed Milet. I'm excited about Eric Worre. I'm excited about what he's going to be launching. Eric's actually launching a program at convention, so everyone's going to get to hear about it together. And so I feel like we're tired of the fluff. Like Super Saturday was a bunch of fluff, and I think there was people that were really disappointed with the lack. They had like 8 minutes out of 3 hours worth of actual meat. And so I'm excited for convention to actually be meat and takeaways. Like we have people that come back year after year after year to convention, which, people have different reasons and different, they do it for the fun of it, for the community, not necessarily because they want to double their business in a year. However, there are some people that are maybe going to come back not feeling like anything has changed in their business since the previous year. And so our encouragement is to come to convention with expectation of gleaning something that you can take home and like go implement. I mean, and regardless of what is shared at convention, like it's our responsibility to go home and actually implement what we learn. And I did think it was interesting. Eric's like, yeah, sometimes companies can put so much out there, like at a convention or whatever, like we're all drinking from the fire hydrant. but then like everyone goes home kind of more confused and like they've gleaned and gathered in so much information, but actually being able to go home and like implement the top three things or whatever, or the top one thing. And so I think we just need to be really mindful, like as we come off of convention and get home, re-entering back into the vortex, that we really make an effort to implement, you know, the things that we've learned personally, and then like teach our teams how to implement what they learned too. Okay. So if you guys are just popping on, a few of you popped on. We did a post audit from May 13th. So we were kind of chiming in and talking about that. The goal is 14 total posts for next week. 2 posts a day, one about Plexus, one personal. We're gonna all go live this week on our Facebook wall and talk about the business. Why the business? Also, I would challenge you guys to go live in your stories every single day. Talk about something. It doesn't even have to be about Plexus. I can talk about dying in this tornado that about swept Justin, me, and my brother away 2 hours ago. But it doesn't have to be anything earth shattering. Just show your face, talk to your audience, and like let them be part of your life and what you're doing, because that's what social media is about, right? And so I think sometimes we hide behind posts, or we just kind of do what's convenient, so we like throw things up. But we're gonna like exponentially help our businesses, help our customers, and expand our reach, influence more people by doing the harder thing, which is showing up live. And I'm preaching this to myself as much as anybody else. Before I open it up again, real quick, I just want to give you guys permission. This is like May-cember. Does anyone else feel that way? Like everyone, like coming off of school, I feel like my cabinets and my closets are busting at the seams, and I just feel like I need to get my office is a disaster. So whatever it is in your life that you feel like you need to just take a hot minute and get it organized, go do it. I'm not saying overhaul your house and tap out for the next month, but what that drawer, that closet, you know, whatever those things are, chunk it down and get it done, because that will help free up brain space. Because the more, and then not that life has to always be perfectly organized to be productive. However, I think that, you know, it's spring cleaning time. So if you needed permission from somebody in your life to say, go clean that drawer, you'll feel better. Go pick that one thing this week, and or maybe it's like you're like me and you're kind of chunking. I'm kind of chunking through my house, and getting some projects done now that we're mostly finishing up with some school things. So, okay, who else? Who wants to share? I think we're kind of like all over the place, but that's fine. So we did the audit. We normally unmute and everyone shares like a win for the week, how many conversations you started or were in, and new three ways. So you guys can just unmute here. I can just popcorn style, and you guys can talk and share. Tell me how it went. Tell us how it went this week. That's why these are so good, because it kind of like helps us shine the light on how things went. Who wants to go first and share their win that?
I'll go.
Okay, hey,
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to hop up because of a tornado. So I'm gonna go now. Keep looking over there because I can see. So this has been a season for me because we're in graduation season, right? So if you have seen my post, this is why I look like I do today. I mean, yesterday was the party, 4 days ago was graduation. Whatever. Anyway, it's crazy. But I proved something in this. So I've been really adamant about reaching out to new people. I feel like my team they're just doing their thing. They're in this May-cember, very much so too. But like we're staying in communication. I'm not probably on it as much as I was because of my time restraints, because the time I've been spending on finding new people. Like I've been doing a lot of reach outs that are paying off slowly. Like I have a lot of conversations, and I got a new team member this week, and I have another one this coming Friday coming in. It was a payday thing. So that's good. She reached out to say, I'm all aboard. I'm still good. I thought I'll believe it when I see it, but she reached out before I did. So I'm glad of that. I learned in this week that, you can be really busy, but still take that time. And it was almost better for me because I was like, I'm not going to have the time. So I just said it. It was at weird times. I just had to do it. And I made sure I was reaching out, not every single day. So it's been like this every other day thing. So I do double the reach outs on one day, basically, that I know I'm not going to get to the next day, just because of what was happening. I wanted to be engaged in this moment. You know, you don't get moments back. And so with your kids, and this was just important to me. So I really, I felt like what I did in a very short amount of time, I'm seeing that to start to pay off is really well. And I'm going to say, team wise, I have to, I'm just going to throw this out. Stacy, who is, you know, she's tracking to senior gold. I've talked about her before, but she's in Jamaica right now. And we made like a deal when, before she left, I'm like, just let me know who I need to talk to. Like, who do you have? Like, what's your login? What do I need to do if you need help? And that girl this morning, like I was dead to the water after that party last night. And so I'm like, you know, up drinking my coffee later than normal. I never sleep till 7. So that's my late, like 7. I couldn't believe I got up that late. And I don't know what time it is in Jamaica, but I am getting those three-way messages with her customers, checking on them, talking about their customers, like feeding into them, blowing up about their products, what's working, what's not. We've had some difficult situations again. She's working through them. Such good stuff going on. And I'm like, what can you say? That's good stuff right there. Because I think you've said, you know, when you can't work and it keeps working for you because you work when you can, you know, so I just really believe that. So I'd say that's my wins for the week.
Love. Okay. 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 Who else?
Okay, I'll go. So I wanted to say that one of the things that you just said, Megan, earlier about going live on your Facebook. So I was out taking a walk yesterday. So I didn't start it. I just started like asking questions and giving information, but I happened to strategically have my pink drink in my hand and I was talking about consistency just in different things. And then, oh, and by the way, I've consistently been drinking this pink drink that does XYZ for the past 10 years. Don't go a day without it, blah, blah. I literally got a ton of feedback on it, not necessarily about the pink drink, but what it told me is that people were watching all the way to the end because the pink drink thing was in the middle. And then I was talking about asking people for information about taco trucks. And so that was at the end. So I was strategically putting the pink drink in the middle to see if they followed through to listen. Cause you know how people can just like click, 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 or swipe, swipe, you know. So there's that. And I've had 2 people reach out to me that have reached out to me about the business. And they both have fallen flat. It's been this month. And one girl was like, she reaches out to me. I don't even know who she is. I get back with her and she doesn't get back with me for like 2 days. And she's like, oh, well, I did some research and I'm not really ready to invest. And I was like, what does that even mean? Because it's so little to invest. The other one is still kind of on the fence. So I'm kind of just chitty chatting with her on it. But for me personally, being a top recruiter for so long, I've kind of changed my strategy and I'm specifically looking for people who want the business. So it's a hard pill to swallow to think I haven't added anyone this month, but I'm trying to keep my focus that I know the people or the kind of person that's one better than me. Megan used to tell me find people better than you. And I didn't like when she said that, but finally I'm coming into myself and I'm like, those are the people that I'm looking for. And I'm just trying to go through the process and not freak out about, not adding anyone yet, because I am looking for specific people who want to do the business because I know that's what's going to move the needle and get to the next goal that I have. So I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, so super good. You were just talking about, the stories in the lives. I think that's really important to kind of sandwich things and get engagement. I think that to me is so encouraging. Like I don't really care if people are engaging or not engaging on my Plexus stuff, but if they're engaging with me on my non-Plexus things, to me, like I'm like, yeah, I'm doing something right. I'm gonna keep doing that because I'm engaging with people. You said something else I really wanted to piggyback off of. What was it? Shoot, I should have written it down. You were talking about high recruiting. Maybe we'll come back to
So
it.
what you need to do when you hear cross your finger. This is what we do at home. If we think of something we want to say while someone else is talking, we do this. So it helps everybody remember. But this is one thing I was going to say is I didn't go live in my stories. I went live on my Facebook wall, but it gave me an option to share it in my stories, like right when I was on the live. I'd never seen that before.
Oh, so you were live, like on your wall.
Yes.
Hmm. So
And
you
it,
like in the middle of your live, you were talking about the pink drink. Okay. Okay. What was I going to say? Maybe it'll come back to me. Okay. Who else wants to go? Oh, in case someone doesn't see the chat when we're listening to the recording, Melody says, I was encouraged today listening to training and it was talking about when someone quits. Think of it like they're making space for the right people, which is an encouraging perspective. Yes, 100%.
Okay, I can go next. Mine's short because we're in our busy season. Things are really stressful. So I have been in a tractor every day. Today I am catching up on everything. So I feel like I'm in like this major fog. I don't even know what day it is. Like I wouldn't be here if Megan hadn't said, hey, see you today. I'm like, what's today? Anyway, so I reached out to a ton of people. I would be lying if I didn't say that this month has been very discouraging for me because I have reached out to so many people. And when I say so many, like I'm looking at my list thinking like where have I gone wrong? Because I used to be a high recruiter. Like everybody I reached out to would be like, "Oh, sure," but people are just flatline telling me no. And I had a conversation with a girl last week, I think. Was that last Tuesday? And spent like an hour and a half on the phone with her, like all really good things. I went back to look at our messages. Everything that I have sent her, like all our entire conversation on Messenger is just gone. And I'm like, things like that get to me because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I spent so much time with you. Did she erase our entire conversation? Was there a glitch? Like, I don't know, but I get in my head about it. But then I'm actually signing someone tonight who will not be in for the business. I mean, I know everyone's like, don't prejudge. It's an old guy with Lyme. So he doesn't even have Facebook. I'm having to call him and put his order in for him. But I am going to get him signed up. And I have signed a few others. I think I've signed 2 others this month. So, I mean, I am signing, but like if I'm being honest, this has been the quietest month. Like it is so stinking quiet. And the only other time it has been this quiet was probably in December. Like, I don't know what is happening. But even my people, I'm like, is anybody out there? Like, where is everybody? What is happening? I'm like trying to check in on people with products, nothing, no response. Like, it is. So I'm a little discouraged because I feel like, which I'm also, y'all are catching me at a really exhausting time. I'm tired. I'm trying to like be the mom, be the wife, be the farmer. Like last night, the kids and I didn't get home until 10 o'clock at night. And so like, we're just winging it, and doing the best that we can. But I wouldn't be as hard. I don't think I would feel as bad right now if I hadn't done all those reach outs. But like doing all the work and then not seeing anything is very discouraging. And so I need to figure out how to I need sleep. That's one thing, but I need to figure out how to get like my mojo back of like it's fine, everything's fine. And these messages will be fruitful later on, like cuz a lot of times it's not instant. But this one girl that I spent so much time with, like she was a really scary person to reach out to. And we had this wonderful conversation. And it's just crazy that all of those messages are just gone. Like, what in the world? And I sent her because she has been in network marketing before. So she wanted like all the legal stuff of like, what's it take to be an ambassador? So I sent her all our legalistic stuff, Because she was like, well, can I do multiple, businesses? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Here's the fine print. This is what they say. And then like yesterday I went to check in on her and it's gone. Everything's gone. So that was kind of like, okay, this is just how May is going. It's not how the whole business is going, but it's been a tough month, but it's not over yet. I have had lots of months where like the whole month is horrible, as in like the silence is deafening. And then the last week of the month is just crazy.
Yeah. And we're in like the most discouraging week of the month, by the way.
I know. Well, I'm also tired, you guys. I am so tired. I shouldn't even be sharing because I sound like such a Debbie Downer. I promise I'm not this negative all the time.
The external processing of where you're at, like your red dot, is actually very soothing. So you'll probably be off the call and be like, yay, I can
I said it out loud.
Yeah, so sometimes it's just that, hey, here's where I'm at. And I feel kind of discouraged, but not
here's the thing about this business is sometimes when you're not progressing, like you don't see things moving or people aren't responding, you're like, okay, where am I failing? Like the silence almost makes you feel like you're failing because it's like you're doing all this work. Like I said, I wouldn't be so hard on myself if I wasn't doing the work, because I'm the first. I always admit when I'm like, I'm not doing the work. I'm not showing up. I'm not sending messages. But right now I'm like, gosh dang it, like I am doing the things. Where is everybody?
But you're still in their inbox when they.
That's right.
Because everyone's just people with school-age children, especially this month, are really distracted.
I feel like this is the worst month for me to be talking to most of these people, but
it's okay.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's when the mood hit me.
So I was at a conference recently where a man got up and spoke about how our brain works and how we fill the gap of silence.
Mm-hmm.
It was really helpful because he gave this example. I don't know if I shared this on here before, but he was talking and all of a sudden he stopped and he looked over to the side and everybody was quiet. And then it was like what seemed like an eternity, but it was literally like 10 seconds. And he said, his explanation was, what were you thinking during that 10-second gap? Now, messages obviously are longer than a 10-second gap, but everyone was like, because he looked over to the side. So we thought, oh my gosh, something fell or something happened or whatever. And he was like, the brain is conditioned to always fill it with something. It's always thinking. And so we fill the gap with nobody's responding. Everybody thinks I'm ridiculous. They hate Plexus. We think all these things. Yes, we always think the worst. And so you're doing the things. So like, don't beat yourself up. Just wait and see how God's going to work it out, right? Because when we fill the gaps, I do it all the time with my husband. I'm like, he's not responding. Does he not like what I just said? Is he mad? Does he not like the food? Well, not the food. He cooks for me, but all the things, like we're always filling in the gap with what we think the other person is thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Well, and we do need to guard that because it's not necessarily truth. It's not necessarily fact. And sometimes we can really build things up in our mind and it's just not true. Or, we assume the worst. I remember Wendy, when we first started, she said, if they haven't responded, that means that they're still thinking about it. I was like, I love the way you're framing that, Wendy. So positive. But I definitely think that it's that in this quiet times or in like after we hit the mountaintop and we're like trudging through the no man's land space, that's when our character gets proven. Like, are we going to be faithful in the seasons when we don't feel like things are happening? Are we going to continue to like not doubt in the darkness what we've heard in the light? Like, we know the vision that we have. And so it's like we have to go back and remind ourselves, oh yeah, why am I doing this again? Because nobody seems to catch on to my vision here and what I'm wanting to create. Angie, I remembered what I was going to say. Jessica Hefley popped 2 little videos. I think I threw them in some chats. I can't remember which chats they were. 2 little comp plan videos or 2 little videos. I don't remember. I didn't look at them, but she said they were really good. So if you haven't sent that to your people, you may try. that. And then Brandy, who knows what happened with the conversation? You may just curiously, non-judgmentally, curiously pop back in and be like, "Hey, I don't know why, but from my end, I can't see any of our previous conversations." But if it would be helpful, like you could just pop up and be like, "Hey, would you want to hop on with my friend Megan real quick? My friend Megan and I really quick, and we can kind of talk through. Because maybe some people they do better if they can just like talk through it with somebody and like with the real people. Angie, same for you with your girls too. I don't know. It's maybe worth a try on those follow-ups just to see.
Well, I already threw you out there. She was like at the top of Octavia, like she was their convention speaker, everything. And I was like, hey, when you're like out of your busy season, let's meet up with Megan for coffee. And like she's on the advisory board. You can ask all the questions. So maybe I'll see like, hey, when can we meet up for coffee with Meg? And just see where that goes to.
Yeah,
She's
and
not a mean person. Like she's not hateful. So it wasn't
Right.
a hateful gesture, but it's like, are you just done? You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's where we have to get good at continuing the conversation with the most optimism and the most belief, and we're believing the best about people. And I noticed this the other day when I was at my sister's or my niece's track meet. I ended up chatting with one of my sister's friends, and she was just kind of going on and on about gut stuff and mold. And I was like, girl, I think she asked us what she asked me what I do. I'm like, oh, we're in network marketing and we sell supplements. And then down on the conversation, like they have had mold. She's now kind of the main provider. She's a hygienist. Her husband lost his job, and so I'm gonna follow back up and just be like, hey. But I gave her a pink drink and hydrate or act. I no, it was 2 pink drinks I think for her to try because we were chatting about it. Then later on, she was like, I think she was feeling really tired or something. I was like, hey, well here you should try my pink drink and just see how it helps you. But in my brain, I was like, I don't want her to think I'm trying to like push something or how our brains kind of like don't do us any favors because in her mind, I think she'd never heard of it and she was like totally open. She was talking about different supplements and things. So I think we have to just keep our blinders on, like, remember, this is what we're doing. We're excited about it. We have vision, we have belief. This has been such a blessing and a gift to us. Like, why would we not talk about it and share it with people, regardless of, other people's perceptions or ideas? And she was very open. She's super open to it. Angie, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, oh, so I didn't even, yeah, okay. I didn't know, I mean, I've tried this before. Was your message, Brandy, was it in Messenger? Because when I've gone back and tried to delete a message, if other messages have preceded it, you can only delete it for yourself. So unless something's changed, which social media changes a lot.
So she could have removed herself from the message, which means that then the only person left in it was Brandy. And so then it wouldn't show in the same way. So I've had that happen in 3 ways for sure, where somebody removed themselves from the message and that just leaves 2 of us in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably what happened. She just removed herself.
You would think that I would still be able to see what I sent though.
Yeah.
Yes, but then you were the only one left in it. So it doesn't show it probably separately in Messenger because it's just you sitting there. It isn't you and this other girl. So like that chat, it doesn't have 2 people in it any longer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Report back if you figure it out.
But wouldn't it say, I've had people leave a 3-way, but it tells me they left.
Right, because there's still 2 people left in there so you can see the history. But if that other person ended up leaving it, it's probably gone. Because then it's just you.
Because I've also had the same thing, Brandy, where I'm like, I know I messaged this person, but everything's gone. Like that person wasn't like a long conversation, but I'm still like, I know I've checked in on you before.
Yeah, weird.
I don't know. Like, you know how you can swipe over and like delete things, like you swipe and delete? Maybe she did that and it deleted the whole conversation. I should find a conversation. Well,
They can-
no, I don't delete my stuff.
You can archive it too. And I wonder if that does the same thing, because you know how you can swipe to mute, you can archive it, and then it like, because I've accidentally done it to somebody else, and then the whole message goes away. Like then you can't find it. So I wonder if people, like, I'm not saying this happened to your girl, Brandy, but I think because sometimes I struggle with people, like they used to read my messages, but then they don't anymore. And then I'm like, I know you're online and you're not just leaving me unread. I think they're literally just swiping it to get it out of their inbox and completely archiving it. That's, again, maybe one of those things I'm just filling in my head, but
That might totally be it. Okay, Melanie or April, or Laura, you guys want to share? Oh, Laura's already on YouTube. You want to share, Laura?
To echo the room about a busy season, I'm just in a super interesting season at the moment, pretending to be you all's family of 9. It's very interesting, let me tell you. There's a lot of dishes and a lot of laundry, and there is a lot of extra personalities, and it's awesome and a lot. And so anyway, then we've had extra things going on in and out, extra people beyond the extra people. And so it's just been really interesting. And so, but one of the things is like, we signed 2 people this past week, and they were not from recent conversations because those aren't really happening. But they were from conversations from a while ago. Bill went turkey hunting in Pennsylvania and chatted with a gal. That was 3 weeks ago, and she called like a couple of days ago.
Hmm.
So I mean, it just took her that long to like pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, she called, this is so interesting. She called to say, I want to let you know that I am still thinking about this. I do not have time right now. She said, that sounds so terrible. I picked up the phone. I called you. I was just letting you know I'm so busy, but I feel like we need to have a conversation before I can get started. Totally think I need the triplex that he talked to me about. And I'm thinking, so he's already talked to you. I literally just need your info. I need your address and your payment information. And she's like, well, because I think when I'm ready, we probably want to talk through this a lot, don't we? And I'm like, I think you're ready. I said, really all I need is just to kind of like collect your information, and then I'll get the products, shipped to you. And I said, but I'm happy to talk with you again. Why don't we go ahead and get that order going today? And then when your box arrives,
Yes.
you call me, and then we will talk through any questions that you have at that point in time. So
Mhm.
I feel like I kind of strong-armed her into like giving me her information. And she literally called to say, I haven't forgotten it. I've been too busy, and I will call next week when I have time. So anyway,
you were able to like sign her that
yeah,
day. Okay.
yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
that's
So
strong-arming. I
her
think
box
that's
is shipping. Yeah.
helping
So
her
she
get
finally,
started.
so she agreed. Yeah. Yeah. So
Good.
funny. So funny.
That's good though.
Yeah.
I
And
think
then
people
another
need us
gal.
that way. Like people need us to tell them what to do. It's kind of like, I don't even know, like when we're in labor, like we can't really think about what we're doing, like, and so we need someone else to be our brain. And I feel like when people come to us, they hear different things or they read different things and they don't know all the info. So they need us to be like, let's get you started, and you can't see change until you actually start, and then we'll help figure things out from there. So I love that, Laura. That was good.
Yeah. And I said, well, let me get them shipped to you, so that, because she's like, she was an Amish lady. So, um, she's like, we have church in our home this weekend, and so it's just so busy. She says, that just sounds so awful. I do have time, but I'm just telling you that I'm busy. And so it was just funny. She was also circling and apologizing. And so, anyway, I'm like, it sounds like next week will be better for you to get started anyway. So we'll just make sure you have products in hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was good. And then I mailed her a packet of information, with all like the paper, since they don't get online and that sort of thing. So anyway, that was good. And then the other lady that we signed up, I had just chatted with her. She's been my Facebook friend for a while. She used to work at a business that I frequented. And so I chatted with her probably 3 months ago. And then just a couple trickles of messenger follow-up. And finally, just she was ready to pull the trigger. And I'm like, hey, let's chat today. And she's like, I'm not available today. I will be Sunday. Like, awesome. I'm not available Sunday. So I just said, okay, great. We'll chat with you then. And then I had a little bit of a lull in we were at a catering event and it was just boring. I didn't know anyone there. Bill's out there talking to who knows who. And I'm kind of like, I just can't. So I stepped outside and called her. And she's like, oh, you caught me at the perfect time. And then I got all her information and signed her up. But so I'm saying all that because we did miraculously sign 2 people this month, which is still historically low for us, but it was conversations that we had when we were having routine conversations. And so I had already decided weeks ago that my biggest problem is that I'm not in enough conversations. I'm not in enough meaningful conversations. There's no back and forth. Can I blitz out information? Yes, I can. If people aren't responding, that's not a conversation. Sending messages is not a conversation, and conversations is how I'm going to get, to Alaska, right? And so, obviously that was been our goal. It is it'd be stretch and a half, clearly, but stranger things have happened. But the thing is, it's like you just don't know. And the thing is, we're not in conversations. Messages, yes. Conversations, no. So I don't know how to turn that ship to get people to respond. I'm just not hitting them at the right time. And the 10 solo cups that we turned over were not enough. We needed to do 25. And I figure if you're discouraged at 10, then you're never going to get to 25. That's the problem.
It takes a lot of conversations or a lot of, and then it's kind of a filtering process. So like you send all the messages and then there's like a smaller amount of actual conversations. And then, there's the and then the yeses and then the maybes and the not nows, not yet. So it's just like this filtering process. So
yeah. And again, messages are not conversations.
Yeah.
And so, we're not in enough conversations. Yeah.
Good awareness.
Yeah,
Good.
I know.
Did you do the post audit yet?
Oh, I haven't posted anything in weeks.
Oh, well, if you post more, you'll get more people signing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have noticed that for sure for myself.
Yes. Now, at the same time, though, my feed in the few minutes that I have been able to scroll completely different. And so I have been trying to make more meaningful comments so that my feed stays active.
Smart.
So I've been trying to make more meaningful comments. And there's a lot of different stuff right now with graduations and things. And so, so my feed is different and active and with intentionality. I've not been commenting on hardly anybody's Plexus stuff.
Smart.
Because that was the only thing that was popping up. And so I have done just a couple of posts and then Bill's still tagging me in things, which is great. So, I mean, I know that it is still a little bit active, but I haven't done a Plexus post in weeks.
Okay. Keep posting about the grandkids and the
Yeah.
that. Like when we're in
Yeah.
seasons, I think all of us can still post about like what we're doing. Even because we get so ingrained and so religious, like, I gotta do this and I gotta do that. And so sometimes it's like, you know what? It was a 4-day weekend busy and you just post about what you're doing on your travels or with your grandkids or whatever. Like that's all still good. That's all still.
Yeah.
Do you ever go in your memories and pull a post from last year or the year before?
No.
That would make it super easy for you. Literally 2 seconds. Bump, bump, post, picture, done. And because that would be easy, or rally chat testimonials. I mean, in certain seasons when it's really busy and we don't have a lot of bandwidth to like think about stuff, I'm like, a post is better than no posts. And I know like social media gurus aside, I still think high volume and posting is really, really important. And so done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
Done is better than perfect. Okay, well, here's the encouragement. Keep swinging the bat. You gotta go inch. Okay, so yeah, thanks for popping on. Keep swinging the bat. life is not going to get perfect, and like the stars align for us to do this. And I love what Lisa said. You can be really busy but still reach out. And so that's it just really good little mantra to repeat. We can still be busy, but we can still do the things we need to do. Even if it looks messier than normal, even if our schedule is like totally weird. We have way more people living in our house than normal. So I hear you. I hear you for sure. April, really quick, did you want to pipe in, or Melanie?
Okay, great.
Yeah, but UPS is here and our dogs are okay, we're good. So I'm just gonna piggyback all of Brandy's things. I'm just gonna duplicate that because I feel like I started the month strong with Jessica Heffley's group and doing the nightly rounds. And honestly, our May December is crazy every year because it's Riley's birthday, plus school getting out, and today's actually our anniversary. So I need to post about that actually.
Yes.
But so it feel like it's all hitting right at one time. But yeah, my point, so I track my points like pretty much almost daily, like every month, and then I keep track of them in Excel. And can you still hear me with him mowing?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. And so my points are like the lowest that they've ever been, like month to date. And so that's like hard. And yeah, I feel like I'm in the conversation sending new messages and then it's just like always quiet. So then I get in my head about like, am I saying the right things? Is my message like okay? And then I try to switch it up and then still like nothing. So yeah, it's been kind of slow. But my win is that I have actually signed one new person this month, and she has signed her 6th as of today. So
That's the girl you were talking about last week, or a different girl?
yeah.
Okay.
So she
Exciting.
yeah, she signed her 6th. We were hoping that she was gonna go senior gold, or not senior gold, senior silver last week. And then she didn't, but she's still sending messages and doing the things actively. I was also like, thought I had her like a yes to convention. And then now she's like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because they go on like a big anniversary trip like the week after. And I'm like, okay, but you need this. So I don't know. But yeah, she's on her 6th person. She in her head has locked in senior silver because her in-laws are both going to order and her husband. So that would get her to senior silver this month. So, yeah, that's my positive is that she's doing she's posting great. Like Randy said, she's obviously in conversations. So she's doing good. And then Olivia, Brandy, we need to keep hyping her. She hates her job and wants to leave it, but her husband's not seeing this as income potential yet. So even Olivia had flat out said, no, I can't come to convention. And then last night was like messaging me about it because I feel like she wants it really bad, but then deep down she knows that he's not going to approve of it. So
we need to do another quick little business event in KZ with Justin and Meg. Kind of like what we did at Hannah's place last year, Megan.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Just to get these husbands, even with Sarah, like getting Sarah and her family just a little bit more. I think the husbands seeing Justin, especially like this normal guy doing network marketing, for some reason that always brings more perspective to the husbands.
Yeah, Sarah's husband is actually really supportive and is all like, hey, how are you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, she said he's been great, but yeah, Olivia's husband is not seeing, all he's saying is that it's paying for products. Mm-hmm. So right now, but she hates her job and is very ready to be done. But
well, maybe that will help propel her forward, because there's like the hungry factor. Like, I don't want to do this job forever. And I always think of that Les Brown, and he actually shared at one of the Plexus conventions, but his gotta be hungry with an O, little clip on YouTube is so good. But I would ask Olivia what it would take numbers wise, like how much money would she need to be pulling in from Plexus to exit that other job? Like
$2,000 a month. She's already told me. I told her she really needs to be Ruby.
Okay. Okay, good.
She also, Olivia never had a Facebook party. And so I had been thinking about that as I was doing Sarah's party. I really wanted to do a team party have like one big team group and then everybody plug in, but I wasn't getting any like feedback from any of my other people. So I really want Olivia to have one because she's never, and I think she already started inviting to it. So we're doing that Thursday night. So
Okay.
I know she's still trying to get like the 6 for this month, but
Well,
Where's
yeah,
Olivia's points now? She needs to be Ruby to get the 2,000 a month, but where are her points right now?
she just hit senior silver last month.
Senior silver. Okay, so she's got 50 points or whatever.
ways
Yeah.
to go, but it's
Yeah.
really the thing between she and the 2,000 a month is conversations and people and leaders on her team.
Can we had mentioned this to you, Meg, I would like to get her on a coaching call with you because I really feel like you need to deep dive deeper with her.
Yeah, and I can do that maybe easier than when you're so close with somebody. Sometimes it's just it's trickier, or there's just other
Yeah.
emotions.
Because she sends messages, she posts, she's in her stories. Like I feel like she's doing all the things, but there's something that's holding her back. And I don't know if it's in the follow-up or where specifically she's struggling.
Yeah, and it may be something really simple and fixable, like, well, I
Yeah.
only with everyone one time or something simple like that. Also, with all of our people, we need to be PLLPing with them every single week, every single month, like looking back through, like, oh, who could do some sort of the PLLP, or if they haven't hit their goal yet, have they done? Like, go through and evaluate each of your people that want to do something, because sometimes there's like some like a little gap missing from the recipe, or they want to relaunch, like any of us, like any of us at any point. If we feel stuck, what do? Go back to PLLP. And so, Laura, that's like, I know it's like super crazy for you right now with everything going on, but like that's a simple system for yourself, even like post, list, live, party. Very, very simple, but it can definitely move the needle forward, especially in months like this month where we're like, everyone has moved to Zimbabwe. I don't know, they're all distracted and doing their own thing, but
They're at the lake.
they're at the lake.
That was our motto. Was that in June that you went? We were like, oh, they're all at the lake. I use that all the time. I'm like, everyone's at the lake. It's fine. They'll see it later.
Yep, totally. And I think the thing to remember, because historically what I've seen is May, August, and December. A lot of times in December, not as much as it used to be, because now we have like leaders retreat contests like ending that month. So that's helped that month for sure. But those 3 months out of the year, it's like, it's interesting. However, the thing I keep reminding myself is that anybody can go silver, senior silver, or gold. They're hitting their warm market. They're new, they're fresh, they're excited. We need to find more of those people in those kind of historically slower months, with people that have been in for a little bit. Anyone can hit those early ranks in any of those historically slower months, because they're hitting their warm market. They're excited. They don't know any different. So I think it's also keeping our eyeballs on who are the new that we could like tap with a little bit.
I have 2 things I want to add. So my goal, well, I don't think Ruby's looking strong this month, but my one like goal I really would want is the refresh hit gold this month.
Okay. Yes.
And between like, I mean, obviously I would love for new personal L1s, but with some that I already have and with Sarah still going, I'm going to be really close. So that's my goal. I also wanted to throw this out there, Megan, because you're on the advisory board. I also feel like I'm struggling, and hopefully I'm not the only one, but there's no new VIP incentives at all this month. And that I know, and I know you, I was hoping that's what you were going to say, is that something else is coming, but like, I also feel like for recruiters, like, yes, people are busy and like, it's great that we have the cash incentive, but sorry, I feel like I was yelling and then you shut the mower off and now I'm, but it's been hard to like almost reach out to people and be like, here, do this, but I have nothing to offer you. So just because I feel like every month, all month long, there's either the VIP dollar or the give 10. Like since I've started, this is like the first month where all month we've had nothing.
Yeah.
But all these people don't know that.
What's that?
Yeah.
I mean, these people don't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking to somebody new in conversation, I mean, what you're selling them, April, is the potential to feel better.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I just want to feel better, or I want to, you know, whatever the story is. We're not selling them a deal because they're not going to get a deal in month 2. So they just better get used to the price.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good point.
so I mean, it doesn't, I mean, literally, I never get people on dollar enrollment. It just, I mean, if I happen to be talking to somebody and they sign up, it's great that it's only $1, but that's never brought in groves of people for us.
Mhm.
Because in the beginning, when it sort of did, because we were running through our warm market, people had month 2 sticker shock, and that was a bigger problem.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
They've adjusted it a little bit now, but when
they
the
have.
conversations,
They have,
Yeah.
yes,
yeah, and that helps.
because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have conversations though about how and there really haven't been a whole lot of months where there hasn't been some sort of special like dollar
Right.
enrollment or whatever. But it's people that haven't been in Plexus very long, a lot of times they don't know how to sell without a special, without like offering people a deal. And that's so interesting, April, hearing your perspective too, because it's almost like they've kind of pre-programmed us to like feel weird if we don't have something to offer people because we've been so accustomed to be like, oh yeah, and the enrollment or whatever, the annual membership is only $1, the free shipping or whatever there is currently going. And so I think it's that learning curve of learning how to sell the value without having to without feeling weird that there's not a deal or feeling like you compelled to like offer your own special. So
I feel like because so like we had Give 10 for like a year. So it was like part of my verbiage of like them reaching like, hey, by the way, before you check out, please let me know because I have this really great promo code for you. And now I'm like, let me know if you order just because I'm nosy and I want to know.
uh-huh. But I do think it is a skill to develop to learn to sell the value and without always having a deal. But there is something coming, so just sit tight. But I do feel like we need to have practice sharing the value with people because
I
it
know
is
that you're not supposed to tell us, but this is for my own mental stability. Is it coming at the end of this month or is it coming in June?
this month. So
Okay, because I was going to run my own blitz if something didn't come.
okay, yeah.
But I'll wait for Plexus to do it for me. Thank you.
Oh. So yeah, I would double down on encouraging your team this week because this is when everyone gets discouraged. And don't discount your own goals still. Like there's still plenty of time left in the month. I mean, we're 11 days out still from the end of the month. That's a third of the month. And so things can still happen. Don't forget about refresh. Like look at what you need in order to hit that. Also really fast, we were talking about convention and it is still like massively on Eric's mind to like we've got to increase the number of people coming to convention. And so that's just on our brain or like we're getting ideas on like how can we drive more tickets to convention because we have room for 8,000 people and we're about half full, a little over half full, and we're about a month out, which I know Plexus people and even people on the team still haven't registered. They're totally planning to go. And so I feel like there'll be a huge influx as we get closer, but I think we just need to continue to have the conversations. Hit the objections, like maybe go send a little message into your chats and encouraging people like why to come to convention. And the reason that they're giving as the reason not to go is the reason they need to go. So April, that might be a good little talking point with your girls too, is like their reason not to. Also, Eric mentioned yesterday, he's like, this is super helpful to encourage people with. But and interesting coming from a guy, but he's like, I quoted him on this. I learned to ask for my husband's support, not his permission. So I was like, huh, interesting. So sometimes, that may be a little tweak on the verbiage there, even for spouses to be like, would you just support me in this? Where they're not feeling like they have to ask for permission or get their husband's full all-in buy-in in the season where they're not making a lot of money yet. So we were talking, Jess and I were talking about just the why behind why people need to be at convention. But I feel like if you can all work with your people and your teams and encourage people to go ahead and come, that it'll just get that ball rolling of more tickets for convention, which is the goal. Because if we can all be under the same roof, and that's what he said. He kept saying, the only reason, he goes, if you don't want people to succeed on your team, like if you just kind of want to get rid of them, don't invite them. He's like, if you really hate someone, you'll let them stay home. If you really hate someone, you'll let them stay home. So he goes, you want those people to be in the room to hear things, because it can literally change everything for people. And they hear that one thing, or they have that one conversation, maybe in the hallway with somebody that like really, really, triggers things in a great way for them, or they get the vision for the first time. And we can't come home and duplicate that for people who don't go. Like, it's just impossible. Like, you have to be there in order to experience it, So. Okay, well, let's keep those scriptures on our mind about not being weary in well-doing. I think that was probably the most profound thing that's shared on this call. And I'll pop those comp plan videos in case you guys, if I remember, I threw them in earlier today. I feel like I've been a little more distracted than I like to be on the Plexus end of things, but okay, I don't think I popped them in that chat. I'll throw them in the chat here in a second. Okay. Girls, it's going to be great. We're going to have a fantastic end of month. I feel it. And regardless of what things look like now, we can't let that determine our action. The thing that we have control over, we have responsibility over and can take control over, is our own action, regardless of what our team is or isn't doing. And people responding back or not responding back isn't a reflection on us. We're just continuing to be obedient and faithful to the stewardship and the calling that we feel in this. And we're proceeding with high expectations that the right people are going to join and be excited to start with us at the right time. And it'll be great. So keep having your conversations. Keep thinking about what Lisa said. You can be really busy, but you can still reach out. I love that. Sometimes it just looks a little messier than normal. Okay, love you girls. Thanks for popping on. I'll see you next week. See ya. Oh, tonight. There's a call at tonight at 7:30. Julia's sharing, so don't forget about that. Remind your peeps. Okay, see you girls.